Good morning, Gary. I've had a chance to look over your 560 SL. Just wanted to show you a few things. The EHA valve is wet with fuel. You can see how it's been dripping down there. Here's the fuel pressure regulator on your SEL. That one was leaking out of the vacuum hose. This one I don't see fuel leaking out of it, but it doesn't hold vacuum, so it's in need of replacement as well. And in that vein, also the EGR valve does not hold vacuum, so I don't know if you're gonna have an issue passing smog, but when I put my Mighty Vac on it, it does not hold. In general, under here, I'd like to replace some of the air hoses like this. You know, a lot of them are just really hard. Vacuum hoses and connectors, like this one's been patched in several places. I found it disconnected when I opened the hood. So I'd just like to review a lot of those things because I think we've had some minor vacuum leaks. And you know, like this hose that goes to the air pump. The air pump is new, but the hose is original and it's just rock hard. Yeah, so same thing, like, you know, this hose back here and all these vacuum lines. I'd like to review them and replace whatever connectors need to be replaced. Continuing here on the 560, front brake pads are like at 30 to 40%, not enough to trigger the light, but they're low, and you can see there's quite a lip on the rotors too. So I would recommend doing the front brakes. Let's see if I can get underneath the car and show you a few things here. So on the new transmission, we do have a leak on this side. It looks like maybe we just need to tighten the pan bolts, but I wasn't sure if you wanted me to do that. Also, the cooler lines, so like that attach to the transmission that come down here, you can see like some oil on them. They have these support braces, like that one right there, and they should have a rubber insulator between the brace and the line. Same thing on the other side. I'm noticing the same issue over there. And what happens is you end up wearing a hole with the metal on metal friction. So I would like to review that, and if they need to be repaired or replaced, do that, and of course put the rubber insulators on. I don't know, down here, the AC compressor is a little bit loud, and there's evidence of the AC oil leaking out of it, but it does still seem to work okay. The drive shaft is out of balance. I'm assuming when they removed it to do the transmission, they didn't clock it correctly, because at 60 we're getting a good vibration. This big catalytic converter piece that goes back here and goes all the way to your new muffler, it looks horrible. I don't know if it's actually leaking exhaust. I'd have to put back pressure, like plug the exhaust to really see, but I'd be surprised if it wasn't leaking something. So, and even like this crossover pipe, you can see, you know, this corrosion is all on like an external shield, but I would imagine it's got to have some leaks. I might take it to the muffler shop and have them help me look at that. So Gary, I noticed that the light was on the dash for like a light bulb being out, and it's this one right here. So it's the tail light right side bulb is not illuminating. Of course, it could be more than just a bulb, but I would start with the bulb to try and solve that issue. I'm recommending shock absorbers front and rear. They look very old, and then on the rear, you know, when I exercise them, they don't have any gas left in them. I'm also recommending, let's see, basically all of the fuel stuff that we did on your SEL, this whole package down here, right? The pumps, the filter, the accumulator, the hoses. Now, I mean, the pumps, I have not tested the fuel pressure, but like the hoses are all and cracked and original looking. You won't really see it too well in the video, but when I inspected it with good light, you can see a lot of little cracks in the hoses. No leaks yet, but it's just a matter of time. So I would do that as a preventative measure and just do that whole thing. Okay, last few things that I have here. I'm not getting any heat. This is your heater valve. This is the coolant circulation pump. I mean, like, I got the car as warm as I could get it, and it was a tiny bit of heat, and then it kind of just went to no heat at all. I checked the recirculating pump, and it works, or at least it's making noise. We could have an issue with the valve here. We would need to kind of diagnose this and spend a little bit of time. You need a new overflow hose here. You can see this thing's leaking, and I just put a new cap. Maybe put a new cap here, just because they're cheap. On the cosmetics, I know you had asked me about this, and I'm going to inquire about it, and I'll let you know about the visors. I also noticed on the center wood, you know, it's got a pin right here, and it's broken off. I can feel it. That should be repaired so that this, you know, tucks down. I mean, that's a minor cosmetic thing, but it's something we could handle. This mirror is loose. It should be replaced. And then I also noticed this cover was missing. I don't know if that's something you have or that you would want me to source. And then you had mentioned about the seat cover trim piece there, so I can work on that too if you're interested.